Excuse me.
Councilmember O'Neill.
Here.
Councilmember Irvin.
Here.
Councilmember Degree.
Present.
Mayor Pro Tem Nyhart.
Present.
Mayor Stone.
Here. Please join me in saluting our flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Do we have a closed session report? Do we have a closed session report?
No action was taken.
Thank you. And that brings us to the consent calendar. Mayor Pro Tem?
Oh, I have to recuse myself from, you made me forget, I was so quick, from item 4, but I can vote on the rest of it.
Okay. Any other comments, or we have a motion?
Well, I can't move approval of the whole thing.
I move that we approve the agenda and consent calendar as stated.
Okay. Councilmember Degree?
Second.
Okay, please vote. All right, and that passes 5-0. And that brings us to council communications. Who would like to begin? Mayor Pro Tem?
I have just a couple of things that, there were a number of events, but I'm going to leave those off and just say one thing, and that is, well, two things. Congratulations to the Historical Society for getting that one piece of the museum open. It was awesome, and those displays were awesome too. But more importantly, we had an excellent meeting of the Beautification Task Force, and we are getting close to starting on Lindemar Boulevard with 3 different people having adopted the earth. Well, we have 3, I think 4 adoptions of the islands. So that will be coming along very, very soon. And while I'm up here, I know he's not here, but I wanted to make sure that the public, and it goes on the record, is aware that Aaron Clark did a tremendous amount along with the Beautification Task Force members. Aaron, some of you know, because he does trees and things and works in our Public Works Department, but Public Works, in conjunction with the Beautification Task Force, did all that tremendous cleanup at the Sharp Park off-ramp, and that Aaron donated 2 days worth of his own vacation time and did that work himself. And you know, if we had Employee of the Month or Employee of the Year, I would nominate Aaron hands down. I can't thank him enough for that. It just looks so much better.
Great. Councilmember Degree.
Right. For those looking for jobs, if you would pass the news around, Congresswoman Spear hosts these job events. One's coming up on the 16th, which is right next few days. It'll be at the Event Center, and it's all day. You do need to sign up, however, so you could contact her office. Also want to remind people, because I discovered a resident who didn't realize that their flood insurance would be almost 15% less if you live in the Lindemar area, where we have, through many years now of hard work by staff, the Pedro Creek has been fixed for the 100-year, is it a 100-year or 1,000-year storm? But anyway, I just bumped into somebody who didn't realize that they should be checking with their insurance agency. Yes, greatly reduce the insurance rates. On the 16th of this month, the airport will have their spokesperson talking about runway closures, and that will affect Pacifica. So we, the Fairmont area, and then there's 2 other areas closer to the south end of town that had noise monitors. Well, April, May, June, July, for 4 months, there's going to be an airport closure. So city manager is in contact with the spokesman, but you will see a public, what do you call it, disclosure coming out on the 16th, and then we will be possibly having somebody here to show a video and thing. But I have no doubt that we're going to hear more noise. The pier, Pops held their celebration at the pier. It was a wonderfully beautiful day, and again, give thanks to all those people who support the Pops. What does it stand for? POP. Should never use letters. Preserve Our Pier. Duh. Preserve Our Pier folks have worked extremely hard for years, and our pier is becoming an economic asset, but it definitely needs repairs, and that's going to be coming shortly. We have some funding for that. What else? I did attend the October 9th public meeting on the Highway 1 proposal, which was for widening. It was an excellent presentation. I'm definitely in favor of all public information meetings. Measure V is going to be debated, is the word used, by the Democrats on the third Saturday morning at the Sharp Park Golf Course. October 17th this year is the annual big earthquake drill, which once we get our new manager in and our emergency panel again, I think we actually should perhaps plan something big for that next year. It's usually around this time of the year. What else? The fire department is having their very important open house on the 19th, where they do hands-on. It's very good for all ages, especially for families with children, about how to make ourselves more safe regarding fire issues. And I think, did I cover everything? I can actually read my writing. We will be having an ethics, or what is it, annual course for ethics for people on commissions and also elected people, and I believe that's the 17th. Just so you know, they keep us in shape. Okay, thank you.
Councilmember O'Neill.
Hello. Let's say I also attended that highway meeting at Valmar School that Sue was at. We also was successful barbecue at the Moose Lodge for the Boys and Girls Club. We had a nice donation from the police officers, sergeants, and the Pacifica Police Officers Association, as well as the Moose Lodge. We must have had about 100 people there, so it was a good success. I was asked, and we've already had the first meeting, to be the council representative for the Jefferson Union High School strategic plan. So we started that last week. And then I also would like to discuss that the council is possibly sending a letter to the Coastal Commission in support of the expansion of the Holiday Inn. And I'd like to see if we could do that. And then that's it for me.
Councilmember Irvin.
Okay, I attended a delicious spaghetti dinner at the community center in honor of the senior services that was put on by Jim Lang and his incredible staff, including his incredible volunteers. It was a delicious dinner and great silent auction for an incredibly good cause, and I enjoyed it a great deal, met a lot of people, and really would like to extend my thanks. I know Marianne was there as well, and we had a great time and just a great program that really deserves our support. So I'm really happy to have been part of that. And again, I appreciate the staff and Jim Lang's efforts that he puts there, you know, very much. I also, what else? Oh, and just wanted to again remind you, as Sue did, about a debate coming up on Saturday, October 19th, in regards to Measure V. If anybody would like to hear, you know, all sides of the measure, please come and attend, and you can hear it out. So that's happening at the Sharp Park Golf Course, as Sue had already mentioned. And I would also just like to really extend my gratitude and my thanks to our interim city manager, who I believe this is his last meeting that we're having here today. And he, in his very short time here, has just been such a positive influence on our city. And I appreciate his integrity and his wisdom and his leadership so much. And he's taught me a lot in the short amount of time he's been here, and I won't forget that. So thank you for all you've done for the city.
You're here.
Thank you. And I do want to second that, Mike. I know the whole council feels very thankful for your time here, and we really appreciate your calming influence and wisdom. I think is very well put, I think, from Councilmember Irvin, because you've really shown us a lot of, I think can give us a different perspective in this short time. And interims are very difficult, I think, to take over and keep everything moving in a direction. I think you've done a very good job in that. And I really appreciate getting to know you as well. So hopefully I can call you and ask you some difficult questions next coming years. I want to add a couple of other things. I do concur with Councilmember O'Neill regarding the Holiday Inn and proposing a letter. So if we can put that on an agenda, that'd be great. And also, let's see. I wanted to thank Van Ocampo and the rest of the Public Works Department for doing a great job. We had a tour of BPAC projects, which is Bicycle Pedestrian Advisory Committee projects. So there's a call for projects right now, and cities throughout the county submit these projects to the committee, and the committee scores the projects. And I sit on that committee, and we'll be scoring projects. And he did a fantastic job with the presentation. We're trying to get funding for a portion of our coastal trail that needs repaving. So it's a vital project for us, and trails, can't believe it's 12 years old, I believe now. So it's starting to look a little worse for wear, especially with our coastal area. So hopefully we'll do well in that call. But thank you very much, Van. Thank you very much to your staff that helped put that on. And also I know PD contributed as well, because it was in a difficult spot. So they helped get our van up to the location there. So thank you very much, Chief. Let's see. And I had a question real quick for the city attorney. I was approached by a member of the public about the UUT ordinance, and they were asking if they had a question that about location, and if they did business here in Pacifica, did that qualify to be under the measure, or did their actual business address or billing address have to be here in the city limits to be under the measure VUUT? Can you clarify that?
Yes. The proposed UUT tax is imposing the utility users tax on telecommunications services. Those are billed based on your billing address. The only time that your billing address or your service address would be separate is, for example, someone owns a business in the city, but they have their bills sent to an address outside the city. That person would incur the utility user tax. But a business located primarily outside the city who happens to come in, particularly with a mobile phone service, and they're using the mobile phone within the city limits, they would not be subject to the tax because their billing or their primary business address is outside the city.
Okay. Could I ask for just a formal short paragraph of an opinion of that, so that it would be settled for this particular group of business owners that are concerned about this?
Yes, our office will send you a formal written opinion.
Okay, excellent. Thank you very much. And that is my last comment of the evening. So that'll end council communications and bring it to oral communications from the public. I have a couple of cards here. Paula Trixera and then Gil Anda. I only have 2 cards, so if there's anyone else who'd like to speak, come up. And Paula, I'm guessing you want to talk about Dia de los Muertos.
Yes, that in Sharktober. So good evening. Yes, I want to talk to you about a couple of programs coming up. This Friday, we're partnering with the Pacifica Beach Coalition, and we're bringing you a program about sharks because it's Sharktober. We'll be showing the movie White Shark Cafe. This film will profile 2 pioneers in the field of scientific study of these great predators who are doing research at the Fairlawn Islands. Also, we'll have a guest speaker, David McGuire. Lynn Adams will be there making her famous popcorn. If you haven't had it, it's really good, so please come. So this Friday, 7 p.m. at the Shark Park Library. And then on October 25th, we'll have Dia de los Muertos. It's a festival based on the Mexican celebration that honors and remembers the dead. It's our first time. We'll have mariachis, face painting, skull decorating, and skull cookies to decorate. So we invite the whole family. It'll be Friday, October 25th at 6:30. We invite the whole community to come and learn about this wonderful tradition. So hope to see you there. Thank you.
Gil Anda, followed by Todd Schlesinger.
Hi, I'm Gil Landa. I now live in San Bruno, but I still have a deep interest in this town, and it's a fun town to have an interest in. What I've come here for today, I've kind of been aware of what's going on with Measure V. You're trying to, get something passed that will bring in tax revenue for this city. And although I don't live in this city. I kind of wanted to speak on behalf of property owners. And specifically what I wanted to talk about is an unresolved issue. I probably didn't get a chance to write things out, so I'm going to wing it. This has to do with an unresolved general plan proposal for the Carlson property on Pedro Point. And as you know, there's a group that wants to reserve the entire parcel for a park. And I know that Mr. Carlson would be willing to do a development package that includes a park. And given that you have this proposal to increase revenue, given that the city has a track record for trying to get amendments or assessments passed that would have sunset, but being unable to sunset and having to come back for more, I think it's vitally important that this city demonstrate a willingness to put things in the pipeline so that they come to a fruition and provide a solution to the city's budget problems. And I guess if I could say one last thing, I think a proposal that incorporates a park with a development is going to happen a lot sooner than if you just try to go after the entire property itself in the hopes of making it into a park. So anyway, good luck with the city. Nice seeing you.
Thank you. Todd Schlesinger?
Yeah, good evening, Todd Schlesinger, Lindemar. Hey, they saved the best for last. Really, Len? So you're asking the city attorney about Measure V after it's on the ballot? You're supposed to know that, particularly before you put your 500 in and you put your 500 in, Marianne. So let's look at Measure V. Yeah, you're supposed to be the city attorney. Listen up, you'll learn something. Anybody seen this before? Anybody seen this before? This was paid for by the city, which means the taxpayers paid for this. Yes, it says the city paid for this. That means taxpayers. Do you know that this was contracted for in June and that the vote to put the Measure V on the ballot wasn't until July 8th? Now, I checked with the Fair Political Practices Commission, and that's not illegal. But I guarantee you that's fast and loose. So let's look at who's supporting and who's not supporting Measure V. Well, the whole council's supporting it. Mike, wake up. Come on, man, don't sleep on me. The whole council supports it, of course, because you want the taxpayers to pay for you, particularly you, Sue, because you've been on city council the longest, for your faux pas. Let's see who else supports it. The lovely Leland G. Do we all remember Leland G? Is that the same Leland G that came out against Measure M for the development of the quarry, but he never went to any of the meetings regarding supporting or opposing it and admitted that to me? Yeah, that's the same Leland G, people. Oh, how about Dave Canepa in Daly City? Why are you voicing your opinion, Dave? We don't care what you have to say. No offense, I like you. But it doesn't affect you. And now, let's look at the infamous Julie Lancel, the strategic plan queen. Isn't this the same Julie Lancel that asked for a recall in 1992 because she didn't want the lighting and landscaping assessment? Hello, people. I know the history of this town. And then, on top of it, we've got the Hal Bonner and Pete Loeb contingency. They want it. Of course they want it, because they want our tax dollars to pay them off on their lawsuit about widening Highway 1. How hypocritical is that, people? Don't be fooled. This is the same old thing that's gone down in Pacifica for 20 years. You want the taxpayers to pay while you guys sit on your hands and politically debate. What a bunch of crapola. Dave Bertini supports it. Dave Bertini doesn't even live here anymore. The former captain in the police department, he moved to Menlo Park. You guys aren't going to get this through, and you don't deserve to. You tried to pull this with the sales tax. You did it with the fire assessment. You do it every few years. I could go on, and people would learn more, but I know Len's going to shut me down. But I already made my point. This is not going to pass, and it shouldn't pass.
Thanks,
and
Todd.
don't
That's
vote
3
for
minutes. All right, seeing no more cards, I'll close the, or do we have any more, Chief? Nope. Okay, I'm going to close the oral communications from the public and brings us to item number 7. We have a staff report. Oh, do you need to recuse yourself?
And I have to recuse myself again.
Mr. Mayor and Council, what's before you tonight is, as you know, for some time, the city's been working on design standards for the future development along Palmetto Avenue in the historic district. And we now have reached the point where we have a draft proposal for those design standards. And the next step would be for the council to hold a study session to get public comment and input about that. So what's before you tonight is a discussion, not of the actual details of the design guidelines, but rather the scheduling of a study session to invite the public in to hear everyone's comments about the ideas.
Do you need a vote this evening, or do you just direction is okay? What would you like
Well, I think you're going to have to
vote?
if you can give us some guidelines, then we'll take it from there.
We can vote if you want either way. It doesn't matter. Any questions?
Can you
for
pick a
staff?
date tonight? If not, we could poll the council later. I'm assuming that's a allowed action.
Okay.
But we want the public to know it's coming. We want it to know that you've been talking about it. And if we do poll you, then we would like the public to know that we're working with you to find a date.
Sure. Okay. Any questions for staff? Anyone? Okay. I don't see any cards for public comment. I'll open the public comment up. Okay. Seeing none, I'll bring it back to the council. If you guys are okay with it, if it doesn't need a lot of discussion, we can just pick a date if that works and move on from there. Unless anyone else has any comments, let's go through our calendars. Councilmember Irvin, you have a comment?
Just that I think it would be important, as Mr. Garvey has said, to get the people notified, especially people, the West Sharp Park Advisory Committee, people that have spent so many months and years actually being involved with this design, and just the fact that I appreciate it. But
Councilmember Degree?
I thought I heard we just need to say we want to do it and that the manager would poll us to find the most appropriate date.
Is that
Right.
correct?
That would be fine. Thank you.
okay.
So anyone else object to, or anyone object to the meeting, or everyone okay with the meeting? Okay, great. So do you want to work on a date? Do you have any suggestions for a date? I know we're running up almost against Thanksgiving. If we have enough time.
Let us put out an email to council, just try and pick a date. That'll be the only item to be discussed, is what dates are available.
Okay,
We'll propose a couple of dates and ask you to say yes or no on each.
okay, excellent. All right.
Thank you.
Well, I think that's all we have on that item, and
I just want to make a comment.
yeah, go ahead, Sue.
That online, this plan is online, correct? And it's, really worth looking at because it goes in depth. So if you go on the City of Pacifica website, you can get a good look and get a head start.
It does take a while to load.
Mr. Garvey, is that on the front page of the City Pacifica's page, or
I'm
can?
sorry, I'll have to check that, Mr. Mayor, but if it's not, it will be.
Okay,
At some
excellent.
point tomorrow.
Okay, great. All right.
Right now, it's under City Focus.
Okay, excellent. Oh, we'll get it under City Focus. I gotcha. Okay, very good. Have a good evening. That will adjourn the meeting. Thank you.
Looks like 4 seasons to me.
Good job, everyone.